Maryanne Medved.
It's interesting to listen to everybody's perspective on John. And each of us knew him in a very different way, in very similar ways. And the stories come out and they are all very interesting. Let me just start by saying that if John is looking down at us right now, he'd be pretty damn happy to see each and every one of you. Wow, you know, we sometimes wonder if we've had any effect on people in all of our lives. And clearly, John was not that exception. He wondered that as well, and now he knows. I had known John Barry Tomlinson for over 40 years, and it's hard to believe that I'm standing here tonight with my heart on my sleeve at his celebration of life. I gave a great deal of thought this week about what I wanted to highlight about John tonight, and gave a bit of thought to mentioning what some might refer to as a possible crusty facade, and those voicemail messages that he would leave that sounded like a grunt out of the forest. JB, call me. Click. But since you all know that that was a put-on and totally fake, I thought it'd be best to talk about the real John, the John that I knew and the John that I loved. I met John, or rather JB, as he liked to be known, back in the good old days at Hayhurst Advertising some 42 years ago. Seriously, where did the time go? He was at some point in my 11 years there my boss, the media man, the VP on the second floor in the northeast corner at 55 Eglinton Avenue East. It was a crazy time in the advertising industry, and we had a ball. It was, in my opinion, an exceptional place to work. During the time I worked with John, I learned about the difference between working for and working with people. He believed in people's abilities and sensed what they were capable of accomplishing. He was trusting and fair, and for me, he was caring and considerate. Through his actions and his beliefs in you, he unknowingly helped build self-confidence. He would go to bat for you, and sometimes he was a proverbial shoulder to cry on. Well, he would at least shove a box of Kleenex across the desk in your time of need. I learned a lot from John and remain grateful for the opportunities revealed to me. So it goes without saying, in many ways, I saw him as my mentor. After years of working in the same industry, our lives went on different paths, and we transitioned a work relationship into what became a lifelong friendship. We always remained in touch and interested in what and how each other was doing. Over the years, the only thing we probably differed on was that he liked gin martinis and I liked vodka. Our catch-up lunches or dinner were often the fix or the boost that one or both of us never even knew that we needed. And our departure or farewell comment would sound something like, "That was so good. I'm really glad we got together." And we would happily go our separate ways, feeling that all was aligned in the universe. John rarely gave advice, but he was always supportive and often helpful by just being a sounding board. I loved John's mind and his thinking process. He would often pause before he responded, which told me that he was a great listener. In today's terms, it would be called being present. And by doing so, he made me feel that I mattered, that I was important. He demonstrated that in other ways too. He always called me on my birthday. And in the past 20 plus years, we never missed celebrating our birthdays together, not once. As time went on, John became involved with the men's division, an organization of men that he was proud of and became unbelievably connected to. And he continually put energy into the success of that group. John was also a football guy, no shock to many of you who are here. He was also a cat lover and an avid reader, mostly sci-fi. He was also a father to Jeff and Tanya, and a grandfather, or pops, to Simone and Phoenix. He loved his children, but he simply adored Simone and Phoenix. He was so very proud of them that his recounting of their latest activities or accomplishments or something that they had said or did with him was often accompanied by a dab or two in the corner of his eye. John felt so loved by Simone and Phoenix. It brought out a very soft, gentle, and loving side of him. He cherished that feeling, and it looked good on him. Was it John's time to go? Apparently. Did he do a good job in his life? I'm not one to judge, but I'd say so. Would he like it that we have gathered here in his honor? Oh yeah. And last but not least, would you join me in a farewell toast? John, wherever you are, here's to you. You did good.